Let me paint you a picture. The clock strikes 8 a.m. The world is waking up. Some people start their day with a glass of warm lemon water. Others brew a hot cup of coffee. Me, I reached into the fridge, pulled out a cold, shiny can of soda, cracked it open, and took a long, fizzy sip. That sharp sweetness hit my tongue. The bubbles tickled my throat, and within seconds I felt more awake. That was day one of what would become one of the strangest and toughest experiments of my life, drinking 5 cans of soda every single day. For an entire month. 5 cans, not 1, not 2 as an occasional treat, but 5. Every day. If you do the math, that's about 150 cans in 30 days. When I stacked them in my kitchen before starting, it looked like I had built a soda shrine. People who visited me thought I was preparing for a party, or stocking up for the apocalypse. But no, it was just me, testing my own limits. Now, why would anyone do something like this? That's a fair question. The truth is, I've always heard how bad soda is. Everyone knows it's full of sugar. Everyone knows it's linked to weight gain, diabetes, bad teeth, you name it. But because soda is so normal in our daily lives, because you can buy it anywhere for cheap, it doesn't feel dangerous, it feels harmless. And I wanted to find out what would actually happen if I stopped treating soda as an occasional drink and made it my daily fuel. Of course, I wasn't doing this recklessly. I tracked my weight, my sleep, my skin condition, even my mood in a journal. I checked in with how my body felt every single day. I wanted this to be more than just a wild stunt. I wanted it to be an honest experiment. What happened next surprised me in ways I didn't expect. Some parts were fun at first, almost enjoyable, but as the days stretched into weeks, the changes in my body and mind became impossible to ignore. By the end, I wasn't just finishing an experiment. I was learning lessons about health, addiction, and self-control that I'll never forget. So buckle up, I'm going to take you through it day by day, week by week, and maybe, just maybe, by the end, you'll think twice before grabbing that next can of soda. The first week, honestly, was almost fun. Let's be real, soda tastes good. That first can in the morning gave me an instant jolt of happiness. It wasn't just about caffeine, it was about the ritual. The sound of the can opening was like music. The fizz bubbling up was like an invitation. I'd take a sip, and suddenly the morning didn't feel so heavy. By midday, I'd reach for my second can, usually with lunch, burgers, noodles, pizza, whatever I was eating. Soda made it taste better. There's something about sugar and carbonation that tricks your brain into thinking you're having a party, even if you're just eating leftovers at your desk. My third can came around mid-afternoon, the typical slump when people start yawning at their computers. I used to drink coffee or tea at this time, but soda felt more exciting. The sugar rush hit fast, giving me 20 or 30 minutes of focus. I typed faster, made more calls, felt like I was winning the productivity game. By evening, I'd crack open can number 4, usually while watching TV or scrolling through my phone. And then, almost like clockwork, I'd finish the day with can number 5, sometimes even right before bed. That was the first warning sign I ignored. Drinking soda late at night isn't smart. At first, the side effects were subtle. Around day 3, my sleep started changing. Normally, I'd fall asleep within 15 minutes. Now I found myself staring at the ceiling, my mind buzzing like it was running on overdrive. Even when I did fall asleep, it wasn't restful. I woke up groggy, like my body had been fighting itself all night. My skin also started acting up. I've never had perfect skin, but within a few days, my forehead got oilier and tiny pimples popped up. I shrugged it off, thinking maybe it was just stress, or the weather, but the timing was suspicious. It lined up perfectly with the extra sugar flooding my system. The strangest part was the craving. By day 4 or 5, soda wasn't just enjoyable, it was necessary. I'd wake up with a headache if I didn't drink it within an hour. My body wasn't politely asking for soda anymore, it was demanding it. And when I finally took that first sip, the relief was instant, like scratching an itch I couldn't ignore. That was the first time I asked myself, am I addicted? Still, in week 1, the positive feelings outweighed the negatives. I convinced myself that I could handle it. I even joked with friends, hey, I found the secret energy hack, forget coffee. Just drink soda all day. They laughed, not realizing I wasn't entirely joking. Looking back, that first week was the bait. Soda dangled sweetness and energy in front of me, pulling me deeper, while quietly planting seeds of dependence that would explode later. By the start of the second week, the honeymoon phase was over. Soda stopped feeling like a treat and started feeling like a chain. The energy highs were still there, but they were shorter and sharper. I'd drink a can, feel amazing for about 20 minutes, then crash hard. The crash wasn't just being tired, it was like my brain hit a wall. I'd go from feeling like a superhero to staring at my screen in a fog, unable to finish even simple tasks. I noticed mood swings creeping in. Small annoyances set me off faster. One day, I dropped my pen on the floor and got irrationally angry about it. That wasn't me. I realized the constant sugar spikes and crashes were messing with my emotions. Physically, things were shifting too. My stomach always felt bloated, like I was carrying around a balloon. My belt felt tighter. I weighed myself 2 kilos heavier in just 10 days. That's not normal weight gain, that's sugar piling up inside me. The science backed it up. Each can had around 40 grams of sugar. Multiply that by 5 cans. That's 200 grams daily. Over 10 days, that's 2 full kilograms of sugar. Imagine pouring sugar straight from the bag into your mouth. That's what I was doing without realizing it. My teeth also started feeling weird. Not pain exactly, but sensitivity. Cold water stung a little more. I brushed twice a day. But no toothbrush can fully defend against 200 grams of sugar every single day. Then came the headaches. If I delayed my first soda, I'd get a pounding ache behind my eyes. I realized I wasn't just craving sugar. I was addicted to caffeine too. Soda doesn't have as much caffeine as coffee, but 5 cans add up. My body was demanding both sugar and caffeine, and punishing me if I didn't deliver on time. Socially, it got awkward. Friends started noticing. Why are you always drinking soda? Don't you drink water anymore? I'd laugh it off. Water is boring. Soda is fun. But inside, I felt embarrassed. I couldn't remember the last time I had plain water. One night, after finishing my 5th can, I looked at the empty aluminum stacked on my desk. It wasn't just trash. It was evidence of how far I had slipped in just 2 weeks. This wasn't an experiment anymore. It was a trap I built for myself. And the worst part, I still had 2 more weeks to go. By week 3, soda wasn't fun anymore. It was survival. The rollercoaster of energy highs and brutal crashes became part of my daily rhythm. I could almost set a clock to it. 20 minutes of productivity after each can. Followed by 40 minutes of fatigue and brain fog. My work performance dipped. Tasks that usually took me an hour now stretched into 3. I felt like my body was betraying me. Yet I kept opening can after can, chasing that fleeting sugar high. My skin told another story. Pimples appeared not only on my forehead but also on my cheeks, jawline, and even my back. I hadn't seen acne like that since I was a teenager. Every morning, I'd look in the mirror and feel a mix of shame and frustration. It wasn't just vanity, it was a clear, visible signal that my body was overloaded. Mood swings intensified. I became irritable at the smallest inconveniences. A coworker asked me a simple question, and I snapped at them. A friend invited me out, and I felt too sluggish to go. Social life shrank as my energy plummeted. Even my self-image suffered. I used to think of myself as someone with decent discipline, someone who could control his habits. But now, I was realizing soda was controlling me. That realization hurt. The science behind it made sense. Sugar hijacks the dopamine system in the brain, the same reward pathway triggered by addictive substances. Each can was essentially training my brain to expect another hit. My willpower wasn't weak. My brain chemistry was being rewired. I experimented by skipping one of my afternoon cans, just to see how my body would react. The result, within an hour, I had a splitting headache, brain fog so heavy I couldn't focus on reading a simple email, and a cranky mood that made me unpleasant to be around. I gave in and cracked open the can. The relief was instant, almost too instant. That's when I admitted to myself, this wasn't just a bad habit. It was dependence. The 4th week was brutal. Physically, I felt heavier than ever. Walking up a flight of stairs left me breathless. My stomach constantly felt bloated, as if I was carrying an inflated balloon inside me. My digestion slowed down, and constipation became a new problem I never expected from drinking so much liquid. My face looked puffy in the mirror. Dark circles under my eyes made me look older. My resting heart rate was higher, pounding faster even when I was just sitting on the couch. I knew something inside was out of balance. The scariest moment came one evening. I had just finished my 5th soda of the day. I sat on my couch, holding the empty can, and suddenly felt an overwhelming sense of defeat. I stared at the aluminum in my hand and thought, this isn't a drink anymore. This is a chain. I wasn't drinking soda because I wanted to. I was drinking it because I couldn't stop. That realization was my wake-up call. I started thinking about the long-term consequences. If 30 days felt this bad, what about 3 years? People who drink soda daily for decades, what do their bodies go through? Diabetes, liver disease, obesity, heart problems, it all suddenly felt terrifyingly real. And yet, I had to keep going until the end of the month. Because that was the deal I made with myself. Those last few days were the hardest. Every can felt less like refreshment and more like poison. But I still drank it. I wanted the experiment to be honest, to see it through. But in my heart, I knew, this was a line I would never cross again. When the 30 days finally ended, I put the last can down and said, enough. I expected relief, but what I felt in the first 2 days of quitting was closer to withdrawal. Headaches pounded my skull, my mood swung wildly from frustration to sadness. My focus evaporated. I'd reread the same line in a book 3 times without absorbing a word. But by day 3, something shifted. My energy stabilized. I woke up without grogginess. By day 5, my skin looked clearer. By day 7, I could feel my body thanking me. Water suddenly tasted amazing, crisp, refreshing, alive. I realized how much I had missed it. Even fruit tasted sweeter, now that my taste buds weren't overwhelmed by artificial sugar. The weight I had gained started to melt off. Within 2 weeks, I lost nearly all the kilos I had packed on. My digestion improved, my mood felt lighter, and most importantly, I felt in control again. That fog of dependence lifted, and I realized, sometimes you don't know how heavy a chain is until you finally set it down. So, what did I learn from 30 days, 150 cans, and countless sugar highs and crashes? First, soda isn't just an innocent drink. One can hear and there isn't a big deal, but 5 a day is a recipe for disaster. Sugar doesn't just add calories, it disrupts sleep, hijacks your mood, damages your skin, and rewires your brain to crave more. Second, moderation isn't just a word, it's survival. Treat soda like dessert, something to enjoy occasionally, not daily fuel. If you want energy, drink water, eat real food, move your body. Those are the things that truly sustain you. Finally, the biggest lesson was about control. For 30 days, I let soda control me. But by quitting, I proved to myself that I could take control back. That realization was empowering. My experiment was extreme, yes, but it gave me a truth I'll carry forever. The sweetest pleasures often come with the sourest consequences. And every time I see a can of soda now, I don't just see a drink, I see a choice. Do I control this habit? Or does it control me? And that's the question I leave with you. Next time you're about to crack open a soda, just ask yourself, who's really in charge?